Good evening everybody, welcome to Forgotten Stream. Tonight we have the 4th edition of United Solo Championship, the Consolidation Final. And 16 drivers who didn't quite manage to qualify for the Grand Final last week will be fighting for their chance to get there. The 4 best drivers from today's Consolidation Final will go to the Grand Final. I am joined by MixD.
Hello.
So, do you have any predictions, Mix?
For this one, I really don't. We've got some interesting wild cards. I'm going to be particularly following Sepa. Is a dark horse, I guess you would say, on this one. I mean, what we have to go on, of course, is statistics from the playoff that was last week. We need to find that.
Well, the list of players is as follows: Nef, Hoki, Mama, Sepe, Zippy, Gafowski, Vet, Tim, Minwi, Jumper Jack, Silver 101, Rad, Mizu, Norman, Lolita and Asim. And well, according to most people's predictions, it's about half of these drivers that are capable of making the Grand Final. Definitely Zippy, Gafowski, Vet, probably even Minwi, Jumper Jack, Mizu, Norman, Lolita. Yes, that's exactly 8 players, and I think 4 of these 8 are probably going to go through.
Well, I mean, one of the things is we don't really know how much training that people have put in over the last week. I know Garfowski, for example, hasn't put in much.
Yeah, also I'd say Norman is a wild card because last year he was in Consolidation Final as well, and he went through in first place. It did look really convincing. I would say he's quite capable of repeating that this year as well, but I'm not sure if he trained much at all. Haven't seen anything from him.
Yeah, well, Norman, as fast as he was before, has improved his consistency and his skill on environments other than Island. Of course, on Island, he's just top notch. So yeah, hoping for good things from Norman.
I'm also curious to see how Lolita is going to perform. He said it looked like he didn't train much for the semifinals. He obviously didn't make it in top 3 on his server, and it was one of the hardest servers. And then he said he was going to practice a little bit more for this week, but then it was a bit too hot for him. He didn't practice much. But let's see, because last year he qualified straight to the Grand Final without even going into Consolidation.
Yeah, of course, heat wave and other various weather events across Europe this week have maybe curtailed some of the training for some drivers. So we'll see. Like you say, Lolita has said that's affected him, but well, can you believe anything Lolita says?
I do not know.
Sepa, is he messing with DX Tweak? Doubt it. But leaving and rejoining the server.
So we will be starting with Island. The map is called Dreams. built by Hawkey. Hawkey himself is present. He, he himself is more of an island specialist, so definitely watch out for incredible performances. He used to have the world record until recently, but I see that Zeus has gone in front in Daddy Mania.
Yeah, I think Zeus felt he'd lost some of his edge on island, so put in a bit of training.
So on Island we're definitely expecting Norman to perform, because he is one of the absolute best Island players to have ever been born. And his performance in semifinals was next level. The consistency was just superb.
Yeah, well, Norman, of course, one of the fastest in TA, and we'll just see whose consistency holds up here.
Yeah,
And we are
definitely expect Hawkey to be hot on this one, because it's his map and he's an island specialist. Mizu was a big surprise for me last week, because he's not known as an island driver, but his performance was incredible.
Yeah, a lot of people improving their all-round game. Asset in this consolidation final is also going to be interesting, as not really known as being an all-rounder, but he certainly picked up some pace on all the environments. So that's the warm-ups over.
Yep.
And
Warm-ups over, and we are about to start the very first map of this competition for tonight. The lights are out, away we go. Not everybody getting the gears as early as others. Ooh, a couple of slides. I think I saw somebody. Ooh, Hawkey crashed in that wide turn. Norman is leading from Mizu from team. Vet, Silva, Lolita among the leading pack. But Norman, ooh, Vet going a bit too wide, still made it. Lost a bit of time. Can anyone touch Norman? It doesn't look like it. Mizu is in second, Tim surprisingly in third. Lolita overtaking somebody right in front of the finish. And the mech player I saw sliding must have been Minwi. And Meth, an island specialist, also failed in this round. JJ last.
yeah, I didn't see what happened to JJ, but must have been a disaster somewhere. And as you pointed out, there's some gears at the start, always a bit of a carry-on with Island at low speed. And Asa at the back, sporting his Chick Magnets tag, goes past Mama. Norman with a decent lead already out the front. No disastrous slides there, so we've got Norman with Hawkey chasing him, gaining. And then Vet, Minwi, Mizu, Zippy, Garfovsky, and Silver. So we go into this. It's very important to get as much speed out of this turn as possible, and we've got Norman still comes in first. He did get a bit of time on Hawkey at the end there. So an impressive start from Norman. Can he get the maximum points on this map?
It is definitely not impossible. So far 2 rounds out of 2. I saw Meth failed another round, now he finished last. We're into round 3. I noticed an interesting thing, that Norman has a daddy top 3. He recorded a daddy top 15. I don't know what that is about. And I think Meth touched the wall in front of that wide turn. Norman is in the leading group with Hawkey and Mizu. Silver, Minwi and Vet behind them. It is oh so close between the leading two. Vet crashed. Norman still in the lead. Mizu a bit wide. Vet getting ahead. Will Norman hold his own? Yes, he will, with a 41.83. Meth failing another round, finishing last, trying to get some bug slides for entertainment, but that's about it.
Yep. So Norman stamping his authority here. Oof. So with a crash at the start, so he falls way back. And we've got some mech drivers up in the lead. We've got Mephi going up front. Oof. And we jinxed him there. And a couple of slides there. This is Hockey out front. Norman chasing him down. Oof. All went a bit wrong there for Hockey, but he didn't lose much time. He's holding on. Norman out in the lead and being chased. Hockey, Vet and Silver chase him into the finish. 41.82 this time from Norman. Wow, he's got some consistent times of 0.79, 0.82 and 0.83. Yay.
Yeah, so far Norman has been incredible. One low 42 and then 41, 79, 82, 83. I think another 42 low probably. Judging by what I can see at the top. Round number 5. What happened to Norman? He's over 1 second from the lead. The leader in this round is Hawkey. The opposition is Team Minwi, but they're all falling back. Hawkey went a bit too wide. People caught up, but not quite. Team going safe, getting passed by people, but now he's coming back at them and it's going to be close. He's going to end up third. Hawkey takes the round, but Norman is 14th only, 46. And I've got a comment on stream from Nilstone. No, sorry, I cannot commentate Coast in French.
Yeah, disappointing round for Norman there. Well, I mean, accidents happen. So let's see if he can come back from it. I mean, he's still in the lead for points at the moment, 109 to 103 for Hawkey. With Minwi out front now. Now, he had some bad rounds at the start, but he's found his form. But Norman and Hawkey go past him as we come into the closing stages here. And we've got Norman, Hawkey, Minwi. They all hold it there. Silver, no slides. Garfowski coming through into 4th. And it finishes with Hawkey coming in first by 100th of a second.
Yes, that was an incredible fight for the lead, and Hawkey did manage to beat Norman. Author advantage, obviously. That is some incredible driving we're witnessing. Too bad Norman crashed the previous round. He will not get neither a perfect score, neither ideal consistency. Round 7, Meth, Minwi, Norman in the leaders. No crashes up front so far. Norman out in front. He's chased by Meth and Minwi. Lalita, Hawkey, Jumper Jack and Mizu some way back. Minwi made a mistake, slid wide. Norman is going to take the round comfortably. Another 41.8. Second Meth, followed by Lalita and JJ and Hawkey.
Yeah, so Norman putting a little bit more space between himself and Hawkey, but it's only 10 points at the moment. Obviously, that can change in a single round if you have a bad crash, as Norman did have before. Here we go into round 8 of this island map. And Norman is at the back. It was. He goes past a couple of drivers. He's battling with Asa at the moment. Who can he close down next? Seppa and Zippy. He's not going to catch Hockey, but he's certainly picking up places. We have Hockey, Silver, Meffy, and Jumper Jack. Oof, gets into second. Was nice. So he's finally finding his form. He was back in ninth. He's made his way up to seventh on points.
Silver 101 taking the round. A water sight for a veteran from Trackmania Sunrise. And Norman did manage to come back from last to 7th, I think. Couple of slides in the leading pack. Norman getting into P1. I think Hawkey crashed at the jump. Norman still out in front, chased by Minui, Jumper Jack Vets. Ooh, Silver crashing there. Not a good look. Norman with an excellent line at the finish. Minui lost a lot of time compared to him. Still finishes second, followed by Vet, JJ and Lolita. And that's another 41.88 for Norman. So barring a couple of unsuccessful rounds, this has been an impressive display so far.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if he'll get flagged as TA noob for a couple of crashes. JJ's statistics. Here we are, the last round of Island. And Norman is at the back. Yikes. So yeah, maybe he'll get the TA noob bonus yet. At the front, we've got Meffy and JJ and Mizu fighting it out. As you said, Mizu very fast these days. But Meffy has pulled out a useful lead on the others as we see Tim coming through past Mizu, and finishes with Meffy, JJ, and Tim taking the podium there, and Norman trailing in last. Oof.
Yeah, I saw what happened to Norman. He went a little too aggressive at the start, cut across a gap, and that was a nasty slide.
Well, he's still in the lead though on points, 205 to Hockey's 187. So that's how it goes when you're maximum risk and just trying to go as fast as possible.
Yeah, Norman definitely needs those points. It is rather unfortunate for him that he didn't get 250, because he will be dropping points to some others on some of his less good environments. But he did manage to finish first and with over 200 points on Island. Some people disconnecting and reconnecting because they are readjusting their gamepad settings for this rally. AT sur Cher 2, should I say AT sur Cher 2, for the map by Mama, a rally specialist, who himself is actually using wheel for this. So, with the lineup we have in this consolidation final, who would I favor on rally? Definitely Vet. He's currently leading in warm-up. Gafovsky, TMO specialist. JJ, never too bad at TMO. And a joystick driver as well, Lolita. He's decent at rally. I mean, he drove 105 on Earth Boomba after all. And Mama, he is a rally specialist, and it's his own map. So yeah, I think the main battle will be between these drivers.
kind of hard to judge how things go in warm-up. I mean, not everyone takes warm-up all that seriously. They don't necessarily drive in the same manner that they do in once the match is underway. So we've got one more warm-up to go. Oh, well, this is the last warm-up. You see Garfowski out in front with Mama. Vet, yeah, so it could be that they'll be battling it out for the top positions here. That's certainly fairly typical on rally. We'll see who's going to be risking some of these tight lines. This finish, of course, great place to bonk into the castle walls and lose a lot of positions.
And if you hit those walls, you risk getting sucked in. Because
Yeah.
these walls suck.
The walls that suck. It's a classic on rally. There's a small gutter, and basically that your wheels can get caught in. That's my theory. I've never actually checked. That's what it feels like.
I hope that the game volume is alright for rally, because we are starting. Do let me know if I need to fix anything. JJ with a good start, but Lolita gets in front after JJ made a mistake. Silver crashing early on. Lolita still in the lead, followed now by Gafowski, Vet and Norman. Mama joining the fight for the lead. Norman held by DX Tweak. Lolita dropping back down to 5th. So the fight is now between Garfield, Mama, Vet and Norman. Norman doing incredibly well. Ahead of Zippy, ahead of JJ, and there's Meth riding the walls. I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, 10 seconds back. I don't know if he was trolling a bit there or if he's really got his controller settings wrong. Who knows? Okay, so here we go into round 2. Garfowski taking an early lead. Mama getting a bit more speed there out off of the dirt. And so we have Mama, Bet, oof, and somebody, I think that was Lolita, getting a bit of pain in the tunnel there. Lost a lot of places. Hockey, oof, respawns, and that is a bit of a killer for him going into last place. So up the front, Garfowski goes past Mama and is chasing down Vet now. So we go into these closing turns. Oof, and Garfowski does go into first, followed by Vet, Nizu and Mama.
I saw a ridiculous scene of Lolita sliding out before the last tunnel, or before the last castle section. And that was the end of him in this round. In that round, should I say, round 3. A good start from JJ, but he already made mistakes in 2 previous rounds. Can he keep it up for a little bit longer? Let's see. It's JJ. Minwi and JJ tapping the wall. Not too much in terms of times. Oh, that bad crash. Gafowski in the lead from JJ, 2 joystick drivers from Minwi. Actually up into 3rd. A tricky dirt turn. No mistakes for the leading trio. Minwi does clip the wall, but nobody manages to catch up. Where did that finish? 14th.
Yeah, JJ and Minwi doing well there, picking up some useful points. Who gets the speed out of the dirt this time? I mean, JJ. He's out in front with a good tenth of a second. Can he hold on to it? Garfowski is picking up a little bit of time. Nobody's had a disaster so far. 1.2 seconds from first to last. And JJ must be feeling his oats right now. I don't know how hard he trained this one, but Garfowski gets past him in the closing stages. And the usual suspects in the lead there: Garfowski, JJ, Mama, Vet, and Hockey. And at the back, Silver, Norman, not a good round for him, and Asse.
Yes, Asse is struggling a little bit on Rally. It is his least favorite environment. But Stadium is yet to come. Round 5, good start by Hockey. He's still in the lead, but Garfowski, Vet, Lalita are hungry for that first position and they will be attacking him. And Hockey goes a bit too wide, jumps on that wooden construction, and it is two TNT drivers out in front. Lalita trying to do something about it, but he is just not quick enough. Garfowski will hold his own. Mama just about gets up to Lalita's tail, but doesn't overtake him.
Yeah, Hockey, that's him crashing in the same place again. So is he going to start going a bit safer there? One would hope so.
He's already tied for fourth with JJ.
Yeah. Okay, so Garfowski again with a tiny, tiny lead at the moment. That's Hot at the front. And struggled a little bit there, keeping the grip in the tunnel. So Mama goes out in front on his own map. Can he hold on to the author advantage here? Garfowski is threatening. Some good speed, and yikes. Yeah, getting the right wheels on the grass, not a problem. Of course, TM's grip model for the right wheels, slightly broken. Oof, and they both bonk on the castle walls. And Vet and Lolita and JJ get past them.
That was a tight battle towards the very end.
It's galling to be out in front and just lose it right on the last turns.
Okay, so it is Garfowski in the lead overall, and I saw a CMC skin going a bit too wide over the grass. That would have been Sepe, because JJ is in the leading group. Hockey crashed right in front of the tunnel. Somebody crashed in the tunnel. And it is Lalita, JJ, Vet, Mama, Garfowski fighting for leading positions. Norman and Minwi trying to close the gap. And after Garfowski, big mistake there. And Norman does manage to overtake Minwi, but ahead of them, Mama, Vet, JJ and Lalita first.
Yeah, it's small mistakes can be expensive, of course, when you're pushing at the max. Get out onto the grass and lose your grip, and oof. Yep. Okay. So Garfowski might be feeling the nerves right now as he falls back into the last places. Norman starting to feel his oats, is out in front with a very slim lead. Mama crashes out there. Eek. He's gonna fall way back. We got Vet, the tiny lead over JJ. Yeah, they're swapping back and forth at the front there, but he makes a mistake. Vet makes a mistake. So we got Lolita, JJ, and Norman, who's going to make it. Oof. JJ nearly got sucked into the walls, but managed to bounce off. Lolita taking this one by 700ths of a second. JJ and Norman actually with the same time, but Trackmania gives the extra 2 points, the Hillis bonus to JJ.
Trackmania gave the bonus to JJ, but Fast thought that Norman was ahead. Interesting. So it is the penultimate round of the second map. Mizo with a good start. Now that is a surprise because he claims to be a terrible rally driver. Vet was in the lead. Norman stole that lead momentarily, but made a mistake and dropped back. And it is Gafovsky from Vet, Lolita JJ, not everyone clearing the speed check. Gafovsky from Vet, from JJ, team on the attack. Ooh, Vet with a mistake, dropping his position. JJ sneaks into second from Vet, Mizu and Lolita.
Yeah, Vet with a lucky escape there and gone onto the grass. That could have lost him a lot. In the end, it only lost him one position and that's 2 points. So yeah, certainly could have been worse. As we go into the last round on this rally map, and got a little bit of lag on the checkpoint times there. And Asa, I think Asa might have had a lag start there. I saw somebody stuck on the start line. Or was it Meth? Well, Karfovsky out in front with a useful lead. 0.3 separating first to third places. But it is, again, the usual suspects. Garth pulling the points again. He looks pretty safe here at the finish. And that's Garth, Vet, Lolita, Mizu, and Minwee with a decent last round. Getting 18 points with that one. And yeah, I don't know what happened to Meth.
A good performance on the rally map by a couple of TNT drivers who are now occupying the first two positions, Gafovsky and Vet. JJ up to third, Norman went down to fourth, Lolita up to fifth, Hockey from second to sixth. Let's see how the positions are going to change on Bay.
Yeah, we have a map by Wormy and Sander.
And what a map it is. I'm not sure what to expect because I personally found it almost impossible to drive without training. I crashed like 5 rounds out of 7. But here, in this consolidation final, who would I favor on Bay? Jumper Jack Norman, Mizu Minwee, Zippy, maybe Sepe if trained.
Yeah, it's so hard to tell.
I guess that. These would be my main contenders.
Yeah, I'll give a shout to JJ. Fortunately, I don't know how much he's been able to train, but he's usually pretty good on Bay. Yeesh. See
Yeah,
Vet having a bad crash there.
I'm not quite sure how trained JJ is or how comfortable he is on this map, but I do remember him beating Zaitsev in Fat some, I don't know, a decade ago or something.
Yeah,
So yeah, if you can beat Zaitsev in Fed, you must be pretty decent on Bay.
you've got some latent skill, yeah, and hopefully it's survived the intervening decade. Yeah, some of the commentary in the server here. Of course, we should point out that the drivers are also seeing cars. In Trackmania, you often have the option to make your opponents invisible, but a lot of competitive racing in Trackmania United is with cars are forced on. Although it is usually drivers can choose to limit the number of opponents they see to 4. That is the case for this particular competition.
I'm
For
not
their
actually sure. I think I saw people saying that they can see all of the cars,
Yeesh.
but I cannot really confirm whether that is the case because I have the bonus limit at 16.
16. Good choice for this competition. I have it pretty much permanently set at 24 in case I'm spectating FET or FET-like competitions.
Yeah, when it is fat or fat-like, I adjust the number depending on what I'm doing. If I want to drive well, I will lower the number. If I just spec, I will increase it. Well, the warm-up has finished. Let's see what they've got. The action is live. Everyone is taking the booster at the start. Ase with a good start, but Mizu is catching up. Will anyone crash and into this pillar? Not the leaders. Ase makes a mistake, slides out, which is a shame. Minwi takes the lead from Mizu. Norman and Lolita are chasing. Where is JJ? JJ is 5th. Norman gets out in front. Minwi and Mizu are close. Mizu with a small mistake. Ooh, it is so tight. Minwi sent it. Finished 2nd. Norman 1st, Mizu 3rd, followed by Lolita and Zippy. Ase, after his earlier heroics, only 13th.
I saw JJ taking some alternate lines here, so I think he might not have trained it very much. Either that or he's got his own magic. Let's see how that pans out for him. So Tim taking a slim lead from Norman, but Norman pushes his way into the front. Oh, what a bully. And but they're battling it out with Minwi up the front there, with Zippy tight behind them. A small gap back to Mizu, JJ and Vet. Oof, and a couple of sliders there. That gives Norman and Minwi the first 2 places. Minwi is threatening. Can he get into first here? Taking a nice wide line there to get a little more speed, but Norman holds on to it. A 1500ths of a second to win there. It's a 0.82. And those are the 2 best times so far after 2 rounds.
Mizu dropped out of the contention for the lead after sliding on the wall right towards the end, and Ase had another good start but crashed at the very same place. And round 3, once again, we have Ase in the leading pack, momentarily 3rd, down to like 4th. He's still in it. Let's see, and he makes a mistake at the same turn again. Oh, what a shame. So it is Mizu in the lead from Norman Vetgafovsky and Lalita JJ catching up. Mizu unrelenting, continues to push. Norman and Vet chasing. Lalita crashes. How's that for a T noob, Lalita? So Mizu finishes first with his 50.67, a strong time indeed, followed by Norman Vettel Gafovsky, the TNT Party, and JJ. As,
Yeah, I
however,
watched.
survived this time to finish 7th.
Watched Minwee climb through the ranks there. He had a bad start, but steadily made places. Yeah, he's had a bad start again, dropping into the back. Okay, Asa out front again. He's obviously trained the start. Can he stay crash free this time? He's losing places, but well, he picks up one now, picks up another couple of places. Back in third. Now that's nice. Zippy with a strong lead. 0.4 out in front. Barring disasters, he's going to get first here. Asa has managed to stay in third, so we got Zippy. Oof! And Mizu clipped. He nipped into third there right at the finish. But Asa finally showing, fulfilling his potential here. Let's see if he can hold on to that form.
Yes, finally he managed to avoid any serious mistakes and finished 4th, which is, well, that is a D1 level performance. Once again, incredible start from Ase. He is first from Hoki, Norman and Mizu. None of them failing here. Ase dropping some positions, but he didn't crash at the very least. Mizu out in front from Norman, Vet, Lalita and JJ. And I noticed that I'm stuck spectating JJ round after round, but he's in such a good position. Not too far from the leaders, but yet with a good view for the battle for the lead. And Mizu wins the round with a 15.96 from Norman, Lalita, Zippy and Vet. As only 10th, but he's 0.99 down on the round winner.
Yeah, I was watching him closely at the start. He takes tighter lines than everyone else, basically. That's interesting. I mean, it is. Okay, so other people have sort of gone with similar lines this time round. And Norman out front, followed by Tim, Hockey, Mizu. It's pretty tight so far. And yeah, that is a bunch out at the front of 7 drivers, I think, and we have a couple of slides and bonks there. Zippy suffered at that turn. You see JJ crashing as well. He's falling back. So who do we have out front? We got Norman, Mizu, Minwee, again showing good form in this round, and that's the order that they finish in. Chased in by Tim, Hockey, Lolita.
Well, JJ crashing is quite uncharacteristic. He is known for his consistency. Mizu is climbing up the ranks. Let's see if he's going to actually overtake JJ after this map. Still have 4 rounds to go, including this one. Another good start from Ase. Let's check out Mizu. We're multiple checkpoints in. Ase did drop. Ooh, and he crashed and respawned. That is unfortunate. Minwee Meanwhile, out in front from Mizu and Norman. There are two battles currently, one for the first place, one for the fourth. Minwi wins the former from Mizu and Norman, and Zippy takes the battle for fourth, followed by a couple of TNT teammates, Gofowski and Vet.
Oh, I mean, we will be happy with that. Being in a first place. It's pretty good on the old bay. And we do have a few people falling back at the start here. Norman is, ooh, and a bunch of crashes there. Bet, Hockey, Norman, Lolita, all suffering here on this round. So, what does that leave us at the front? We've got Mizu, Minwi, and Zippy. And then a small gap to JJ and Asa. He's held on so far in this round, and it's looking good. He's got past his danger point, and he actually gets past JJ into fourth. We still have Mizu, Vet, and Minwi. Oof! Risking at the end, but they do finish in that order. 0.69 from Mizu. He's in the two best times of this map so far. 0.69 and 0.67 in a previous round.
Yeah, that was quite a finish from Minwi. Only just made it. Ase finishing in strong fourth ahead of JJ. Really good effort. Round 9. Do we have Ase in the lead? Not quite, but he is not too far off. Everybody avoiding that pillar in the middle. Ase didn't fail there, but he did get a slide, which dropped him down. So it is Norman from Zippy. Lolita makes a mistake. Team in third, but there's a Vet trying to snatch a final podium place. And that would be quite a TNT party there. And Team does manage to overtake Vet by 100th. Norman, Zippy, Team, Vet, Lolita. Meanwhile, in
Hockey.
overall standings, Mizu up to fourth.
Hockey came in last in that round. Slight disaster for him on that one. So, JJ out in front this time. Lolita fighting with him. And we have Zippy, JJ, Lolita. Oof. Yeah, this is hard fought at the moment. Norman is pressing Zippy so he can get him to make a mistake, and they risk the two-wheeling there. But everyone survives. JJ with a minor bonk on a wall. Doesn't lose much in the way of time, and no places. Can Zippy hold on to this? Norman is really pushing him. Oof! And Norman pushed a bit too hard, and that cost him a lot of points.
Yes,
Not
indeed.
enough that he's going to lose first place, but I think Meth has had a beer disaster. He left him stuck on the start line.
Yeah, so after Bay, we have 3 TNT drivers out in front. Norman back into first. Vet second, Gafowski third, Mizu up to fourth. 5 points ahead of JJ from Lolita. Minwi up to top 8 in 7th. Zippy 8th. Hockey dropping down, Silva dropping down. Ase climbed 1 place over Meth. Sepe 13th. Okay, and we're going into Snow. Untitled Snow Challenge by Rad. Do you have any pleasant memories from playing it last week?
Oh, well, I don't remember last week. That's I did briefly run over the maps uh, just an hour ago as we were preparing for this cast, and yeah, it's a nice map. Not the most creative name, but um, yeah,
Yeah.
this tunnel section near the start is going to cause some pain. It's going to be pretty crashy for people. Uh,
I absolutely loved playing this map. I only trained it for about 5 minutes, just enough to get the gold medal, but damn was it fun. I finished in top 8 in like 3 rounds because people were crashing left, right and center. It was hilarious.
Sometimes there's a benefit to not training so much. It gets you to go safe rather than TAing or trying to go as fast as you possibly can, which leads to crashing or can do.
Well, let's run over the lineup we have on the server. Definitely expect Mizu to do well. Ved, Gafovsky, JJ, probably Norman, probably Lolita, maybe Zippy. Minwi I think is fast on snow.
I see people crashing quite a lot here in warm-up, of course. As I say, people tend to drive a bit differently in warm-ups than...
But I would expect some crashes even outside warm-up. Because
Yeah, well, we'll see.
it depends on how hard people are going to attack.
That's exactly what it is, yep. Who's going to save and who's going to go all out. Yeah, we should say Asa, I mean, did really well to get into this consolidation final at all. I mean, he's not heavily experienced in United. So
Yeah,
getting here.
it is interesting indeed because he's obviously an excellent stadium player, but he hasn't been playing a whole lot of other environments at all.
Yeah, so that's going to be interesting to see what kind of points he picks up once we get to stadium. We do have coast after Alpine, and then it's
Okay.
stadium and desert as the final map.
Okay, so we're live and we have Norman and JJ in the lead and they sort of still are, but Mizu is getting right into the mix. Gafovsky up into second, JJ down to third and getting passed by Norman. The TNT drivers look strong on this environment as well. And JJ makes a mistake. Can he catch up? And no, he can't. Mizu from Grafowski, Norman, JJ. And I saw somebody crashing at the finish and probably respawning.
I thought Norman had maybe risked a bit too much at the finish there, but yeah, you can hit the top pole as you go to the finish and still make it. So that's what he did. I think TNT must have they must have put their drivers to training camp. They're strong. And JJ has had a crash at the start here, along with Lolita. So they're falling back a couple of seconds. And out the front, we have a hot, hot race. Mizu, Minwi, and Norman. And they're not giving anything right now. Mizu has got a slim lead. Oof! And it hits the lamppost, and that gifts Minwi the lead right now. But Norman gets past at this finish, who's going to risk? They do take it a bit safer at the finish this time. So Norman grabbing a first place. Not the best times in this round, but good enough. TNT, Mech, and Mech Hockey completes the podium.
Well, I noticed that JJ crashed and finished last in the previous round. I see Asse with a good start again. What's going on? Is he going to start challenging on snow as well? That meanwhile finds himself in first. Mizu must have crashed heavily. That just lost some speed. And it is Norman from Gafowski, Minwi and Lolita. Asse and Sebe somewhere in top 7. Some CMC presence. So it is Gafowski from Norman, Lolita, Minwi and Zippe, followed by 3 CMC drivers, and JJ is last of them.
Yeah, that's unusual. Yeah, the CMC drivers, a couple of them are still sporting CM tags, or the chick magnets. A holdover from Sunrise League, Reborn. Okay, so we have out in front a battle with Mizu, followed by Norman. There's that JJ in third for now, but Garfowski grabs it from him. And who have we got? Following Seppe in this gap. Ooh, Lolita risking a little bit too much there, but survived it. Oof! Seppe bonks hard, and that is very costly for him. And we have Mizu bringing a 0.84 there. Comes in first, followed by Garfowski, Norman, and JJ.
And a decent time for Mizu as well. Only third 45 on the board so far. Round 5. Ooh, Asse with a huge crash right at the start. Minwi getting away well, but Mizu says, nope, I'll take it. Somebody crashed in the tunnel chicane. I didn't quite catch who that was. Ooh, Silva sending it through that turn and going too wide out of the map. So it is JJ currently in first, no longer him. Now it is Mizu from JJ, Gafowski, Zippe and Minwi. Can anyone challenge Mizu? Ooh, I think Zippe went a little too close to the edge out of the track, and he will finish last in this round. Mizu with a really strong performance so far.
Yeah, impressive performance from Mizu. At 0.74, second best time so far. The best being Mizu himself again with 0.71. We go into round 6. Hear some horns. Is Minwi going to ban people for sounding horns? I'm not sure what counts as excessive. Minwi might be feeling angry enough to do that kind of thing. He has crashed and fallen back 2 seconds, trailing by 2 seconds, and Hockey has also suffered. So the mech driver's not doing great on this round. Out front we've got TNT again, Garfowski and Norman, chased by Mizu. The TNT drivers do have a useful point to lead, and Vet risking there and did drop a couple of places. And yeah, Norman coming in first there with a strong 0.73 time.
Yes, second fastest time so far. And JJ went out of the map and finished 14th. Not doing quite what he does in order to qualify for the grand final. Asa with another good start, and he crashes in this tunnel chicane. JJ currently first, but not anymore. He will crash alongside that. And it is Zippy from Minwi, Gafovsky, Norman, Sepe. What is Sepe doing there? Mizu only 6th. Nobody bugging at this transition. Norman takes another round from Grafovsky, Sepe, Minwi and Zippy.
Yeah, we promised you some crashes, and crashes we have had. Asa feeling the pain most that time round.
Mizu
Yeah,
with
we've seen some good ones.
666 points.
Yeah, Norman holding on to his lead on the points there, as we thought he might. And JJ. Eesh. A terrible crash. That is very, very costly for him. So, out in the lead. Vet, oof. With a terrible crash, it drops from, I think he was in 4th or 5th there, but that has really dropped him back. Mizu has the lead, useful .2 lead over Mama, and Asa showing a strong performance so far in this round, but does drop back to 5th. It was Mama pulled into 2nd place there with Sepa with a strong 3rd. This is what we find with Sepa. He can just he has his good rounds, his bad rounds. He's going to be one of the people that we're expecting to shine in Stadium against a less experienced on the United environments.
And well, I noticed that JJ crashed once again, and that does his chances of qualifying absolutely no favors. He's already down to 6th position behind Minwi. Round 9. Norman out in front with JJ, Mizu, Zippy and Mama. Asa crashing in the tunnel. Mizu up into 1st. I think he must have crashed because he disappeared, and it is Norman from Zippy from JJ. Can JJ finally finish a round without crashing? I do hope so. TNT drivers are streaking away into the lead. Sepe and Minwi trying to take JJ's points, but he will deny them and finish 3rd. Norman does take 1st with a time of 45.84.
Yeah, JJ must have put in team orders there. Minwei with exactly the same time as JJ. Was there a bit of lag there from Minwei? Intriguing. Here we go on the final round for Alpine. Asa with goes into 1st place and does survive the tunnel. So but the next chicane was disastrous for him, and he goes from 1st to last. Yikes! So Norman, 1st place on this round, 1st place in points overall. This is looking promising for him. Mizu sneaks into 1st place. Are they going to choose to go safe with this kind of position? It seems not. Norman grabs that 1st place back with a .75, and that's a strong time for him. Not his best on this map, 2nd best. So that leaves us with Norman in 1st place on points.
And quite comfortably so, from Grafovsky, Mizu, Vet, JJ and Minwi. JJ just about gets back into 5th. And now we're heading into Coast.
We do have a break. We can see the chat time is set. We've still got a little over 5 minutes to go on the chat time.
Oh yes,
This is
indeed. So we have a pause right now, and that will be followed by a bunch of rounds of warm-up. I think 4.
that's what we normally have. Then that's on coast. Following coast, we'll have stadium and desert.
Okay, let's try to make some predictions. So we have Coast, Stadium, and Desert left. I would say none of them are Norman's environments, but then he's just ahead of Gafovsky, who is a desert specialist, but he himself struggles with both Coast and Stadium. Then there's Mizu, who is a good desert driver, but also not quite so good at the other two. That, I don't know. I think he could make up some ground, so could JJ.
No, it's kind of an interesting one, right? I mean, with coast coming up, it's a weird environment, coast. I mean, we tend to see specialists on it. So we could see people picking up a lot of places there. I mean, coast and stadium are both tend to have their specialists.
Yes, and I look at the participants and what do I expect? Definitely Zippy and Tim. They
Yeah,
are some of the top tier coast drivers. Norman, who is ironically known as Mr. Coast for his subpar coast performances, actually did pretty well here last week.
yeah.
He was even winning rounds. So, I don't know. I think Norman is going to stay first after Coast. Zippy is definitely going to climb up. Tim has to climb up. Sepe has recently become a Coast specialist.
Yeah.
Let's
Well,
see what he's gonna show.
of course, for this consolidation final, it's the top 4 places that go to the grand final. So, although we can expect some outstanding performances on the maps coming up, the question is, are those performances going to be enough to pull specialist drivers into the top 4 positions? And Zippy, potential contender from Coast, but
Well, he's
I don't.
also pretty good at Stadium.
Is it going to be enough to pull him into fourth? I mean, these top 8 positions are tight enough that it's certainly it can change, you know.
Oh, and
Mm.
actually, after 4 maps, we do have the 8 contenders that I named before the start up in first 8 positions.
Uh-huh.
And with the remaining environments, I'm definitely not expecting Hockey, Mama, Silver, Sepa, Team, Assi, or Mev to get into top 8. And definitely not into top 4.
Ooh, well, I don't know. It's possible. I think it's possible to get into top 8. I mean, there is a bit of a gap in points, so it's gonna be tough. But yeah, getting into top 4, it would take an outstanding performance, and you'd also be relying on some of these top 4 places having sort of disastrous runs, which could happen, but is unlikely. Certainly unlikely for all 4 of them.
Yeah. Well, the biggest climbs that can happen are Team and Asse and Sepe in the bottom 8.
Yeah.
Tim is obviously a huge coast specialist, as he's a huge stadium specialist. I would say he's actually unrivaled in terms of raw skill with the current
Uh,
lineup.
well, I'm expecting Seppa to give him a fight on Stadium, but yeah, you're probably right. We'll see, though. We'll see.
Sebe could climb because he's good at both coast and stadium.
Yep.
But I think Asa can get 250 unless he fails.
Well, that is the question, of course. How crashy are they going to be?
Last week he didn't crash a single round and he finished first in 6 of the rounds, and only once he was second, and he was second to Pasi. And Pasi himself is, well, one of the best stadium drivers out there.
Yep. So as we go into coast warm-up, and the named suspects Zippy and Tim out in front. It looks like Tim is trying a wall bang at the end there. I don't know if that was deliberate or not, but it certainly didn't seem to lose him time. That might be interesting.
So the coast map is called Older Fata, built by Neil Stone, an old school mapper who has come back recently.
A legendary mapper, you might say.
I might indeed, and he was also one of the best coast drivers himself back in the day. I don't think White has recovered his skill after coming back, but I do believe in Neil. And he definitely hasn't lost his mapping skills. And he does produce quite a substantial maps. A substantial amount of maps. Even these days.
We see a few drivers testing the limits of traction here. Or sometimes it can take just a little while to get into the groove, as it were. Find your mojo on any given environment. Just after a rest break, as it were. If people have been away getting food or drink or whatever they need to tend to in that break, they can settle back down into their chair and find their rhythm again. And Asa, yikes, may
Looks
have
like
had.
he's got a disconnect. Which is, well, something he was calling himself, and something he got a couple of times last week. Definitely some connection issues there.
See, his wheels are turned, so I actually noticed we do have the high quality cars, or just that there. So Asa back in. Okay. Yeah, we do have the high quality cars on, so we see the steering and the brake lights. It's most noticeable on Stadium, of course, which is coming up.
And Rally too, I did notice some people braking there.
So you see as people go off drops, the brake lights, as people air brake to stop the car pitching forward.
However, so many people don't air brake in TMS environments. I just cannot fathom it. Why would you not?
I do see it quite a lot on coast, yeah, and Stadium as well. There are the 4 environments where that type of air braking does stop the pitching. all the TMS Coast Bay Island, the stadium. So we go into the last warm-up. And Asa is back in. He's trying drift techniques. Oof, he looks super laggy. I'm not sure what's going on with him, but yeah, I'm not going to be spectating him. That's going to be painful.
Almost as bad as Vincent. Where does he live? You'd think that Austria has got access to good internet. This isn't Australia. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
Australia probably does have access to good internet, but they're just so far out from Europe.
No. Could be weather issues. We see the good luck, have fun calls going out. Ooh.
Looks like Asa disconnected once again.
Yeah, yikes.
Hope it doesn't happen on stadium.
Yeah, that would be painful. Hopefully he can get back in. I don't suppose he's going to make it in time for the first round, but Minwee taking preventative measures. Of course, if you kick somebody, that makes it easier for them to get back in.
Anyway, the warm-up is finally over. We are live, and right after the drop... Ooh, Sepe crashed. JJ Dorifto! That's not how you drive coast, mate. So it is Tim, Minwee, Hockey and Gafowski in the lead. Hockey with a slide. What is Minwee doing fighting for the lead on coast? I do not know. Tim continues to lead. Minwee holds his ground in second. And it is closely contested behind them. Vet takes third, Lolita fourth, followed by Gafowski, Norman not too bad, Zippy only seventh.
And is that Ash's connection looking good all of a sudden?
At
What a
least
weird
he's not
round.
lagging.
Minwee in second place? What's that about? Beating Vet. Zippy back in seventh, and we have 3 CMC drivers at the back. JJ, Sepa, and Asa. That's not promising for them. See if they can pick up some points in this round. Yeah. All right, so out in front, Tim. Oof, Minwee crashing this time. So unless there's a catastrophe from many drivers, it's not going to be in second place now. We do see a couple of drivers bonking into the checkpoint there. Zippy's got the lead, chased by Norman Garfowski. Vet. Meth is there now. We have JJ still up close to the front, and he does pull into fourth place there, grabbing it from Vet. Zippy with a strong lead and takes it into the finish. Okay, and that's a bit of a change around. Where did Sepa make it? Into 10th. Yeesh. All right. So yes, as we predicted, Zippy getting some useful points here.
Yes, but what's going on with Tim finishing last? 8 seconds down on Zippy. Meanwhile, Meth, who isn't really known as a coast specialist, finished third. And As getting an invalid time. This is horrendous. Meth, the hero of the previous round, with a crash. Minwee with a crash. So it is Norman out in front, no longer, because Tim does manage to overtake Norman. Zippy in third. Asse, well, he's sort of there, but his time won't be counted anyway. Tim continues to lead from Norman, Zippy, Vet and Lolita. Seppe was trying some magic. He will actually overtake Lolita. Interesting.
Yeah,
Norman is really good at this map.
yeah. He's going to be holding on to his first place here, I think. That's oof. Is he disconnecting this time? Hard to tell. No, he's still in. I think in Austria, I think the mountain goats have been chewing on the internet cables or something. And TNT drivers putting in a strong performance on that round. Let's see if they can keep it up. Oof. I can see somebody crashing out there into the checkpoint. Several drivers testing the limits of traction a bit too much. Hockey with the lead, followed closely by Zippy, and does Zippy grab it? He does get the lead. Lolita is challenging him for it though. And JJ, eesh, just pushed a little bit hard at that apex and had to back out. But he's not too far behind. And is Lolita gonna? He does. He grabs the first place in this round. Chased in by Zippy, Hockey, and Silver, putting in a good round here. Norman struggling at the back, deciding to drift these final turns with Meth.
And JJ also had a slide, although that was involuntary. Right at the finish, and he dropped a couple of positions. Around 5. Some people already sliding, having to correct their slides at the first drop. Not too many crashes so far. Team out in front from Zippy, Hawkey, Norman and JJ. Garth also there with the leaders. Technical section, no crashes. Pretty good round so far. Tim with a slide has to correct, loses time. JJ with a huge slide. That is going to be costly. Silva was doing well, had a small drift. Norman with a huge drift at the end. He will finish last, but the leaders Zippy, Hawkey, Gafowski, Minwe and Vet. This is not going too well for JJ.
No, indeed. Norman losing a bunch of points there as well, but he still keeps his lead. See if he can redeem himself on this round. He does have first place right now, so Zippy's struggling a little bit on this round. He is in 6th place right now. Battling with Silver, he does grab the 5th. Minwee challenging him now though. Norman with a small mistake falls into 3rd place. Zippy suffers from a slide there. He's really fallen back there. He's in 10th. Yikes. Battling with Seppe right now. As we go into the closing turn, and as Hockey grabs it by 100th of a second from Tim. Ay, ay, ay.
Well, that is a surprise because Hawkey isn't really known as a coast specialist, whereas Tim is.
JJ fell into 7th place on overall points there, Minwee getting past him.
Yeah, too many crashes. Hawkey crashing this round, so it is Tim from Norman and Meth in the lead, but Meth and Norman, island specialists, crash at the same turn into the checkpoint, which puts Tim with a small lead over Lolita Zippy Asse. As I say that, Asse makes a mistake and drops down. Nobody really challenging Tim. Lolita, Zippy, Vet and Silva going strong. Will anyone slide at the finish? Well, some people did, but not too much. Norman deciding to go all in with the drift. Tim, Lolita, Zippy, Silva, Vet. At the rate this is going, there's 1 point between JJ and Lolita. Lolita is doing pretty well.
Yeah. Poor JJ suffering on coast. Just kind of expected. It's not really a strong environment for him. Hopefully he can pick some up on stadium. Anyway, oof, as I see Asa sliding and crashing out. He is really, really not feeling it on this map. So, Zippy with a tiny lead over Garfowski, but Garfowski, oof, with a couple of bonks on the inside. That's super costly for him. And we see Norman going with a tighter line there, and Seppa showing a strong performance in this round. In first place, can he hold on to it as we go into the final turn? It's looking promising. Norman, ooh, gave it a good shot, but didn't quite make it. Seppa fulfilling his potential in this round. Has he just
Yes.
finally found his form for the last 3 rounds?
Yes, finally something that I was talking about for so long. Sepe taking first in a round on coast. Meanwhile, JJ was passed by Lolita, but he himself passed Minwi, and there's 2 points separating 3 drivers. Some really tight battles going on. Ooh, Minwi, huge crash at the tunnel entry. Tim leading from Zippy, Gafowski, Silva and Lolita. Nobody crashing this technical section. Tim manages to stay ahead. Lolita finds himself in second from Silver and Zippy. Nobody sliding at the finish. Tim finishes first. Lolita, Silva, Zippy and Vet. TNT are apparently a co-specialist team.
Well, at the moment on points, we've still got Norman out in front, Garfowski, Mizzou, and Vet. Zippy has climbed into 5th place. So it's getting interesting for him. And we go into the final round for Coast, and Hockey is in the lead. Tim grabbing it. Zippy, oof. Zippy slides out, hits the edge of that checkpoint, and that's him falling way back. Tim with a good lead, 0.4 over JJ. JJ suffered a little in that chicane. See Hockey struggling on that long turn. And Tim should have this round sewn up, but Seppa, JJ, and Lolita all chasing him. Seppa with 2nd place. So Tim
Yes.
pulling into 1st, finishes first there. Seppa, Lolita, JJ, Minwi, and Silver chasing. Meth struggling again at the finish there.
Just about managed to finish it. So, after Coast, Norman still in first, Goff, Mizu, Vet, Zippy, Lolita, JJ and Minwi. We're heading into Stadium. I think Zippy could climb even further up. This is a Real possibility.
Well, past who? That can be pretty strong on Stadium. Mizzou and Garfovsky. Maybe less
Depends
so. Well,
on how much stronger Zippy is going to be than Mizu, Norman, and Garth, because those three are all not exactly known as stadium specialists.
yep. But
Lolita
having said that, somebody as skilled as Norman, if he chooses to put in the time and training, I bet he can be fast anywhere.
yeah, he was surprisingly good last year at stadium. Spezza says that it's not impossible that all TNTs make it through. I mean, Mizu isn't strong on stadium. He's just ahead of Vet and Zippy.
Yeah, that could be an interesting result.
Well, there's still desert to go, which is an environment that he's good at.
Yep.
But that could be interesting.
Yeah, and the other strong desert drivers are TNTs also, Garfovsky and Vet.
Yeah, Golf should be good on desert even if he didn't train much this week. And even if he doesn't like the map. We'll see. It is It is a real possibility. So if Mizu wants to get in the final, into the grand final, he has to fight for it.
Yep, indeed. So we have our final warm-up round here, and I was watching Seppa. He's not been doing great on this warm-up, so just hope this warm-up gets him warm, basically.
Okay, so we're into a map called High Spring by Roa, and people to watch out for. I would say Asse, Lolita, Zippy, and Sepe. These would be my strongest drivers. Well, I see Tim is pretty good. At
Hope
least
Asse's
according to
internet
Teddy.
holds up.
Yeah, that would be a bummer. We're live, first round on Stadium. We're on that. Tim getting into the lead from Lolita and Minwi Zippy Math. As somewhere close, but not quite. 0.3 down. Sends it through that turn. Goes a little closer. So it is Tim from Asse, Lolita, Zippy and Minwi, and it looks like Asse clawed his way up into the lead from Tim, Lolita, Minwi and Zippy. Norman was about to finish last, but Mama took that position from him.
Well, only one round gone, but Asse on course to get maximum points. See if he can pick up a place. Going to the second round. Hockey out in front at the moment. Well, Meth grabs it briefly, but Asse takes over. He's chased by Zippy and then Minwi. not really known for being a stadium driver. Sepe pulls into the third position. So I'll take that slide, and no disasters, at least in the leading positions. And this looks, oof, we with a crash at the finish, and that is a costly error at the end. Asa again in first. Zippy showing promising performance. And Sepe, we think, can provide a battle. I wonder if he can just grab a first place.
Yes, and Tim, the hero of the first round, finishes last in the second one. Asse with a Rammstein touch, not quite out of the track, but 0.7 down on the leader. Zippy with a mistake. Tim and Norman are fighting for the lead. Asse only continues to drop time. Unless he can pull something crazy out of the bag, I think this is his chance of 250 points out, as Tim finishes first from Norman, Lalita, JJ and Mizu.
Yeah, now that's an interesting podium. So Norman, yeah, showing he can be fast on Stadium 2. So round 4. And we had Mizu out in front, but Asa hasn't grabbed it. He's battling with Zippy. And it is, he's got Asa with a 0.15 lead, but lost a bit of time there. Norman hitting the inside corner, and that's him out of this round, goes into last place. Asa with a 0.3, 0.4 lead, in fact, now. Well, just hope he doesn't make a mistake. And of course, I jinxed him. And Tim is gifted the first place. Well, not quite gifted, because you still have to have been fighting to be in second in the first place. It's Tim, Zippy, and Sepe in the podium this time. So yes, goodbye to Asa's potential maximum points.
Yes,
Unfortunate round for him.
already 2 rounds that he didn't win, which is 2 more than I was expecting to see. Anyways, round 5, it is Asif from Zippy, Norman and Vet, the TNT party. Zippy gets into the lead. There's a lot of honking going on. I think it is As's stick button. And he himself plays without sound, so Ass is still out in front, and it is closely contested. Lolita crashing, so Zippy, Minwi, Norman and Sepe. Lolita crashed so hard, he is going to end up last.
Yeah, Asa showboating at the finish there, doing a 90-degree spin just for the sake of it, I think. Hope that doesn't cost him at some point. Well, he's not going to make it into the top 4 places anyway, but you know. In first place at the moment. And Norman is in last. Ouch. I'm just pushing a little bit too hard. So he and Hockey fighting over the last place. But at the front, we have Mizu. Oof, it is a tight bunch. Asa, Mizu, Lolita fighting over that first place. Sepe in the mix as well, and Zippy a little bit behind them in these last turns. And looks like Asa has it. No showboating this time. And Lolita inserting himself a sandwich between the CMC drivers.
And Norman, after his earlier crash couldn't manage any better than last. Round 7, Norman is over 1000 points. I think Zippy crashed. And it is a close battle for the lead between Team Asse, Hockey, Sepe and Minui. Sepe crashed. Now he completely bonked. It is Team from Asse from Norman. A small mistake from Tim, which puts Minui into second, but Zippy and Mizu come at him. Tim drops way back down. Asse finishes first from Zippy, Mizu, Hoki and Tim. Sepe crashed a lot, finished last.
Yep, painful round for him. And we do have, I mean, Zippy, Zippy and Vet on equal points now, 963. Hey, it is tight. It is a tough fight over that fourth position. So we have a couple of crashes at in the opening stages here. Hockey, Meth, Zippy suffering. Asa, he's out in front. Oof. But no longer. It's a heavy crash that's very costly in terms of positions. And Lolita now with a useful 0.4 lead over Mizu. And I don't suppose he's going to let that go. So they finish in those positions, chased in by Tim, Silver, Norman, Sepe, Garfowski, Asa in 8th place. Followed by Mama, Zippy, Minui, Vet, and JJ has not been doing great on this stadium. If he just didn't train this one enough. Normally expect him to be doing better than this on stadium.
Yes, and Minwei was going strong in the previous round, but crashed at the finish and lost a lot of positions. Round 9. We have Asse from Mizu, Norman, Zippy and Minwei. Minwei once again doing well. Meth in the leading pack somehow. Half the round in. And that is definitely not a name I was expecting to see right there. Sepe up into second. Meth crashes. Norman overtakes Minwei, and Asse finishes with probably his personal best, 48.05. That's a strong time.
Certainly goes into Dirty rounds record for him. And the best time on this during this competition by quite a way. All right, so at the front, Tim, Zippy and Asa battling over those 3 positions. Mizu catching up. He's not quite challenging them yet. He's getting there. That's a 0.2 lead. Oof. And that was painful for Mizu. That drops him back into 9th place. Yikes. I see Norman battling through the positions, getting himself up into 4th, and then finishing in 3rd actually. Oof. These crashes at the finish.
Another
Yikes.
strong time for Asse, 48.18, and Tim was up in the leading places. He just misaligned his final jump and bonked. That was so painful to see.
Zippy complaining about horns. You know, I barely notice them anymore.
So, Norman from Grafowski, Mizu, Zippy up into fourth, Vet, Lolita, Minwi, and JJ.
Well, so what can change here? I mean, I would expect Garfowski might be able to climb into first place here,
Definitely possible.
but I mean, he's going to be first or second place is still, you know, you still get into the grand final. So it's the top four places in this fight over fourth place. Zippy, Vet, and Lolita. I mean, that's a tight fight.
Well, I think Norman is going to be strong enough to probably remain first. Maybe, worst case scenario, drop behind Garfield. Garfield is obviously good enough of a desert driver to keep his position. Mizu is 12th in Delhi, and I do remember him being strong on desert. He should remain there. So the question is, who's gonna take it? Zippy, Vet, or Lolita? I definitely do not see Mingwei or JJ making it.
That's probably a bit too much of a gap in points there.
Yeah, it should be all to play for between Zippy, Vet, and Lolita, and I wouldn't really bet anything expensive on it.
Yeah. Yeah, so we think the top three at the moment are going to stay in, but I mean, for Mizu, it is, I mean, it's tight enough, you know, 30 points over Vet at the moment.
It is tight, but he's pretty good. He should be able to hold it.
Yeah.
Unless he's going to completely throw it and go full TA noob, in which case he might drop. Otherwise, no, I do not see it.
Right now in this warm-up, he's in fourth place. Grabs a third due to a crash. So yeah, it looks promising. Zippy up here in second as well, though. So it's going to be Vet and Lolita are going to really have to fight for it.
And the warm-up is over. 10 more rounds to go. And not so long until we finally know the 4 names that are going to play the grand final tomorrow. I say Zippy can make it. Let's see if he will. We are live, Mev crashing, Lolita with a good start. I saw Norman with a mistake. Grafowski gets himself into the lead alongside Minwi, the mapper. I forgot to mention the map is called Coyote. I'm not sure how it's pronounced actually. Built by Minwi, and he's currently in the lead from Mizu, Grafowski, Zippy, and Vet. Mizu makes a mistake. Minwi continues to lead. From Grafowski, Zippy, and Vet, the 3 TNT drivers. And the 4th TNT driver is currently last, so these positions don't change. Lolita takes 5th. Norman, however, will not be last because Meth, Tim and Mama will take places behind him.
Ooh, yeah, with Mizu dropping some points there. See if he can pick it up because he is in danger. I wonder, is the author advantage for Minwei strong enough that he can climb up? I mean, It is a long way to climb, but who knows? He is out in front again. This could be interesting. Sepe grabs first place. Aye, aye, aye. Again, one of his unexpected. Every now and then he'll put in these impressive performances, just comes out of nowhere. And JJ is feeling, I think he must be feeling pretty good on this desert. He did have problems on the last round. He does grab fourth with an equal time to Zippy in this round. Minwee with another 25 points.
Yeah, the top three actually not doing too well in the first two rounds. This is quite surprising. The positions currently haven't changed, but the gap between Zippy and Vet is so narrow. So it is Norman from Grafowski from Mizu and Lolita, but Norman has been crashy so far, and I think that was Mizu with a mistake. Grafowski and Norman still managing to hold on from Team Zippy and Lolita. Mizu still in it. JJ with a crash. Somebody else crashed. I didn't catch who that was. Norman continues to lead. And he will finish first ahead of Garfield, Mizu, Hockey and Tim. Zippy yielding points to that, and quite a lot of them as well.
Yeah, and Minwee had a mistake early on in that round, and he did manage to pull back a few positions from there, but still quite costly in terms of points. So, the battle for fourth place has only 2 points in it right now. And we have Vet is behind Zippy right now. We're only 2 places. It's Garfowski in the lead, showing his strength here, but he's chased by Minwee. And Hockey is there as well. Team orders. Is Minwee going to call it? Say, hey, Hockey, this is James. It doesn't work. There's too many mistakes at the end there from Minwee. Falls back into 9th.
Yes, Grafowski takes the round ahead of Hockey, Mizu, Lolita and Tim. That makes up 2 more points on Zippy. They should be tied. Yes, they are. And there's Lolita, 4 points behind them, and he's doing pretty well. I think he can spoil the TNT party there. Round 5. Asa with a good start from JJ, Grafowski and that. Asa sliding out. Doesn't quite work in this environment. JJ out in front from Zippy, Mizu, Garf, that. Lolita must have crashed, he's 2 seconds down. Mizu and Norman are fighting in the leading group. JJ crashed. It is tight. The top 3 are neck and neck. There's 600th separating them. Zippy takes this round from Grafowski, Mizu, Vet and Norman. Which means Zippy does get some useful points and Lolita loses a bunch.
Yeah, well, with Vet coming in 4th there, at least That mitigated the loss, but yeah, that's Zippy. Oof, 6 points ahead of him as I see Minwee crashing there. He had early promise in the early rounds of this map, but it's not going well. And Vet with an extremely expensive mistake there that puts him back into last place. And we have Garth in front. He's being chased, or was being chased by Zippy, but Zippy and Tim are fighting over that third place. This is looking good for Zippy in terms of getting through to the grand final right now. As we have Asa coming in last. Norman really not. Oh, Norman coming in last, actually. Really not feeling it on this map.
Yes, Norman is pretty fast, but he's just crashing way too much. Well, I guess Gafowski is going to overtake him in the next round or so. Mizu should be safe in third. Zippy will probably take it. And some crashes up at the start. Judging by the gaps, one of them was Norman. Gafowski leads from JJ, Zippy and Vet. Vet and Zippy are fighting between each other for fourth. Lolita is some way down. Vet manages to get up into third. Gafowski, JJ, Vet, Zippy, nobody missing the finish. Mizu strong fifth. Norman, not content with the map, drops down into second, but he still should be safe.
Well, with only 3 rounds to go, there is still potential for it to change. It's still pretty tight for that 4th place. And we have Zippy and Vet neck and neck in this round, battling over second. Tim comes in, Zippy moves into first place. That's going to be handy for him if he can hold on to it. Vet a little bit further behind now. He's 0.8 behind in a bunch of places, which is a lot of points. Zippy, Garth, JJ putting in a good round this time. Vet grabbing 4th. But that's just making it harder and harder to climb into the fourth place overall.
Yeah, 2 rounds to go. And the gap is 23 points between Zippy and Vet. Lolita is definitely out of it. Round 9, so many mistakes in that turn. I saw Mama, I saw JJ, Norman and Mizu out in front. Norman with yet another mistake. So it is Hawkey from Mizu, Gafowski, Zippy, Lolita and Ase still keeping among the leaders. I think we dropped somebody. Ase crashing. Gafowski first from Zippy, Lolita, Vet and Norman finally manages to get good points. And with just 1 round to go, there's more than a round's worth of points between Zippy and Vet.
Yeah. That's our top 4 settled. Nevertheless, they're going to be racing still news. Was that Hockey that we lost? Yeah, he had a bad crash there. Cost him a lot. So, JJ out in front. Can he finish in style? Somebody took the quarter pipe in style. A bit too high. So Garfovsky in first place, but chased by JJ. And Lolita hanging back, but he is gaining time. Looks like Garfovsky has got the first. Garf, JJ, Lolita, Zippy, and Vet. And I think is that Zippy pulling into equal points with Mizzou, third equal.
Judging by what I see, yes, he has equaled Mizo. What a comeback. Minway with a rage quit. So, Gafovsky, Norman, Zippy, and Mizo are the 4 drivers that we're going to see tomorrow in the grand final.
That's kind of nice that it's top 4. If it would have been top 3, I don't know what would have happened in the case of tied points. I guess they would all go through the grand final.
Yeah, that would have been quite a headache for Minway.
Well, I think the final is accommodating enough that you can just increase the number of drivers that are in it, and it's not really a problem.
I guess so. Either way, congratulations to 3 TNT drivers that managed to qualify today and Mizu. And they are going to join some of the best Trackmania United drivers tomorrow.
Yeah, it should be hot.
Definitely should. Well, that was it from us for tonight. See you tomorrow at the same time for the grand final.
Video.
Goodbye.